Hello, everyone who's joining in. Today's video is about 10 sneaky ways men test women and how to pass his tests. So, hello, everyone. My name is Greta Berishida. I'm dating and relationship coach for women. For the awesome high value women secrets, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to be notified when I upload new videos and do some lives. So, guys, today's topic is all about how men test women. And let's talk about first why guys do it, why guys actually test women. And I know a lot of you will go, well, if a man is testing me, I'm not interested in him. Like, I don't like guys who test women. This is ridiculous. Why would a man do such a thing? And ladies, think about it. Don't we test guys ourselves? Don't we like check, is he like a relationship material? Is he a good man? Is he, like, are you into him? Are you not into him? How does he treat you? Is he up to your standard? We test these things in guys ourselves. So men test as well. We test, are you genuine? Are you a nice person? Are you compatible? Are you a relationship material, or are you just somebody you can use for casual fun? And another thing that I want to kind of address, ladies, a lot of times men will have fun with a woman. They will actually enjoy the time you guys spend together. He will have fun, you will have fun, and you will feel like he's in love with you and he's like completely adoring you. However, he's still not gonna make you into a relation, like he's still not offering you a relationship because he doesn't see you as a relationship material. He sees you as fun only. And guys can separate these things. Same as we ladies. Think about it. Let's say you're spending time with a guy. Maybe it's a bit of a bad boy or whatever, and you really enjoy your time with him. However, if you're thinking about the future and you're thinking about having kids and family with a guy, you're thinking like, this guy is not the husband material. If I'll have something with him, it's only gonna be fun. He's not a husband material. He doesn't know, he wouldn't know how to treat his wife. He maybe doesn't have his finances in order. Maybe he comes up from a toxic upbringing, and you just would be scared to have children with him. Yet still, in the meantime, you can have fun with him. Of course, that wouldn't be a healthy way, to start a relationship or to start anything, and you shouldn't really do these type of things. But you know what I mean? Some people, you just classify it as casual fun only, and others you go like, oh, this is actually a potentially a relationship material girl or a wife material, or this is a potentially a husband material, right? Anyway, enough of that. Let's start with the tests. The test number one, it's kind of funny. It's totally a game, to be honest, but we can call it a test also. So sometimes guys like to take their time in dating you without really like making any moves. And it could be two reasons for it. One reason can be like an innocent reason. So, for example, he is, I don't know, a practicing Christian that before making a move on you or before deciding, are you a relationship material, he takes time in dating you, trying to get to know you. He does things right, but he's not pushing anything, right? He's like taking things slow to get to know you and to see what you're all about, right? And what do you do in this case? You just follow his lead and you take things slow as well. Now, another reason could be, I don't want to like say it Christian, non-Christian, but let's say another intention for a guy could be taking things slow with you so you would jump on him first. So, for example, as he's taking things slow with you and he's doing all the right moves, a lot of girls will be like, oh, he's so cool, he's so perfect, but he's not calling me his girlfriend yet, or he hasn't kissed me yet, or he hasn't told anyone about us. And the girl starts to like push the relationship to go faster, or she jumps on a guy, or she kisses him first. So a lot of men know this, and a lot of men, instead of making that move first, we just purposely take things slow to see will you jump on him first. And if he's a game player type of guy, if he's a cheeky guy, a lot of times he will then say like, oh, I don't know what I want, I'm not ready for a relationship, because you actually jumping on a guy like that would actually be a turn off for him. Even actually for a nice guy, even for a good guy that is trying to take things slow, if you'll start to push him for something more serious or for intimacy, it will be pursued from a woman and it will make him take a step back. It will be majority of the time a turn off for him. Let's go to number 2 now. Number 2, boundaries. But here I'm not talking about your boundaries, I'm talking about his boundaries. Do you respect his boundaries? So, for example, as you guys are dating, lightly dating, let's say for a month or 2 months or 3 months. By the way, if I'll see any rude comments, you're just gonna be blocked, just to let you know that. Just because I know like sometimes guys are watching me and they make some rude comments. So just letting everybody know that first. Anyway, so boundaries. Number 2 is boundaries. And so if you're dating in the beginning, the first couple of months, he might say to you, or even later, he might say to you, oh, I'm going out with my friends, right? And a lot of girls actually get offended and we go like, oh, why are you not inviting me? Am I your girlfriend, right? And we stop texting the guy, or we just have an attitude towards that. And it's a test. It can be in many ways a test to see your character. Are you okay with him having his friends and spending time with his friends, going out with his friends? And if you're not okay and you start to act needy and controlling and upset, he'll be like, you don't respect my boundaries. You don't respect me actually taking some space from you. And not even necessarily from you, just doing my own thing. So ladies, if a guy is actually, let's say you're texting with a guy and he's like, what are you up to? And you're like, oh, I'm not really doing anything, I'm just chilling. And he puts in your face, you say like, oh, what are you up to? And he puts in your face something like, oh, I'm about to go out with Steven, and we're gonna have so much fun, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, right? And if you then overreact and you start to act upset or jealous, he will be like, ooh, she's needy. She doesn't kind of respect my space or boundaries. Even though he's kind of purposely digging, it's a bit of a dig. He purposely is like staying in your face, kind of making you a bit jealous. Still, ladies, the best thing to do in this situation is literally be like, oh, I'm so happy for you. Have fun. Have the best time ever. So you kind of showing, no, I'm secure. I'm confident. I want you to have your space. I want you to have your friends. It doesn't bother me. It's all good. That way you pass his test. Number 3. So, of course, I have quite a few notes here because I don't want to, you know, okay, number 3, and I see with this type of thing, sometimes girls having a bit of an attitude, and sometimes it's okay to have a bit of an attitude just to create a little bit of, like a teasing one another, and other times it's not okay. So let me give you an example. For example, sometimes a guy will invite you to his hobbies, right? To see, can you connect more? Can you do some things that you both enjoy? Because when you both enjoy the same hobby, it obviously strengthens the connection. However, when you only have the same hobbies and you don't have any things that you're doing separately, when it's too much, when it's like it's you become like one person, but the problem of it that it can get boring. So it's important to have some, some hobbies that you're doing separately and some hobbies that you bond on with together. So for example, he invites you to one of his hobbies and you just start to criticize it, how much, for example, watching football, right? Not many girls like to watch football or basketball or sports or something like that, right? And you criticizing it so much, you're like, oh, it's so boring, it's so this, it's so that, right? And then it kind of you kind of shoot yourself in the foot, because imagine a football season is coming and that season, let's say, is like 1-2 months, right? So all he's gonna do in the spare time is, watch the football and want to go out with his friends and be like obsessed with that game. And you said to him that you like completely don't like it. So what's gonna happen? He'll stop inviting you to these games because you said you completely don't like it. And then what's gonna happen? You actually will end up missing out on his company, right? So this way, it's like it's okay for you to say that you don't like it, but you kind of have to think before you kind of throw a tantrum, because when the match season is there, you probably will spend much less time with him than, if you would have said that you like it. Because football it's not just about watching the screen. You can get to know his friends, like somebody says a joke here and there. It's about socializing as well. It's about doing it together. And what I mean is, kind of don't shoot yourself in the foot. However, it's also good to, as I said, to say, to express to a guy what you like and what you don't like, so he can see that you're not a people pleaser. And when you kind of show that you have an opinion, he respects you more for having it, rather than you like constantly like jumping when he clicks his fingers and agreeing to everything, whatever he suggests to do, because he loves it, because that type of person is boring for him as well. So my point is, it's important in this case to have like a middle ground and not go too arrogant and too extreme. If whatever hobby he suggests, you're like, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it, I hate it, I don't like it, he'll be like, okay, we have nothing in common, like we just don't click. So have a middle ground. Number 4. Okay, so number 4, making last minute plans. And I know in majority of my videos, I say that don't do last minute, because when a guy, you know, majority of guys that are, let's call it, not like church guys, let's call it guys like in London, let's call it like that, New York, London, whatever, like not like good men, right? Like cheeky men. Majority of these guys, when we call you for last minute, usually it means booty call after 8 p.m., right? So if you, of course, gonna do that, then you're reducing your value and worth, and you're showing that you don't respect yourself. So that way he classifies you more into a easy kind of hookup category that he doesn't need to put much effort in. However, if it's something more like he is coming up with some sort of idea, you guys, like, I don't know, cinema or theater or whatever to do together, that you can actually have fun together and get to know one another, and it's a little bit spontaneous, it's a little bit last minute, then it's fine to do it sometimes if you do have the time, right? So of course, if you're very, very busy and everything needs to be done in advance, it is what it is, it needs to be done in advance. However, even then, I find that when a guy is really in love with you, when you're very, very busy, he'll show up at your work, he'll cook something for you, and you'll show up at your work to give it to you. So that's gonna be like spontaneous, last minute, fun, just him showing up at your work and just having lunch with you at the last minute, which is completely acceptable and completely fine to do. It's actually very romantic and sweet. So don't reject like these type of approaches, but if it's of course last minute hookup or every single time is last minute date, then that's obviously is unacceptable. And like when things happen last minute, every single time we start to take these people for granted, and we don't appreciate that time much more, as much as we would do things in advance. Because when a guy asks you out in advance, it shows that he's planning, it shows that he's thinking about it. When you're waiting to meet up him, the anticipation grows, so there's a lot of excitement in between that can happen when somebody asks you out in advance. So just keep that in mind. um Okay, number 5, he might test your boundary by disagreeing on something. So he might purposely do a little debate or disagreement, or even maybe say something a little bit rude, like not too much, but a bit on the edge, just to see your reaction, to see, do you let things slide? Do you ignore it? Do you try to please him? Do you overreact by like setting in like a massive strong boundary? Or do you stay calm and collected, but you let him know that, let's say if it's disrespect, you let him know that it's inappropriate and you don't accept this type of behavior? Or if it's disagreement, you handle it well mannered, calmly, in a classy way, right? Because he's basically, by these type of things, he's testing your emotional control. He's seeing who you are as a person, because in any relationship, or if a relationship gets serious, you will have disagreements. There will be, you like it or not, there will be some form of disrespect here or there, or misunderstanding here and there. And he wants to see, do you handle it in a calm, classy way? Or do you just completely lose emotional control and it becomes abusive, it becomes crazy, it becomes, uncontrollable, that none of the guys want or look for in a serious relationship. Number 6. This one I think is really important for many, many women. He might tease you slightly here and there. So, the way boys, real boys, let's call them real boys, sorry guys. I know not every guy tease each other or banters with one another, but kind of boyish boys do. So he might try to tease you sometimes as well, to see, are you secure and confident and can you handle the tease? Or will you just completely take it personally and you'll get ultra offended and it's gonna cause a huge big drama? Ladies, if you're in a situation that you take every single thing personally with any type of teasing, you need to change that. You need to stop taking things personally. A lot of times guys say these things to kind of have a laugh, to see, can you laugh at yourself? Because the thing is, only a very secure woman, that who knows her value and worth, who loves herself, who is confident, who's not gonna take offense, only this type of woman can actually laugh at herself. A woman that always takes offense, a woman that has insane amount of insecurities, whenever somebody will say something, she will get all offended and she will not be able to laugh at herself. So when he teases you and you actually laugh at yourself, it's actually a huge sign that you're secure and you don't take things personally. I know a lot of you will be like offended by me saying that, because I get clients, oh, but I don't like it and it's so offensive, and it's because you're making it offensive. Like when it comes with jokes, right, there are some people that purposely dig, right? but you can see the difference. Whereas some people that we can tease you all the time and you're just laughing like crazy, you're just constantly laughing because you know that they don't mean it. It's a tease, it's a joke, right? With other people, they dig, they purposely dig. It's a subtle dig, it's a nag to put you down, right? And if it's a nag to put you down, that's not a tease. That's you need to set in a boundary with a person like that, because we purposely trying to put you down. It's disrespect. But there is a huge difference between that, and you need to know the difference. The way to know the difference, I think the most important thing is like it's seeing the intention behind. It's like kind of like you nearly need to feel it, you know. Like for me, from, I don't know, like an example to give you, like at high school, that's kind of example in my head. At high school, I had two friends, two very tall, nice friends, and we would tease each other all the time. They would tease me all the time. I would tease them back all the time. And we all just laughed out loud so much, and we were best friends, right? At the same time, you know, let's say I'm dating somebody and that person, he doesn't tease, or like there is no laughter, there is no humor, he doesn't know how to make you laugh, but he digs, he nags at you, he slightly puts you down, you know. And the nag is always demeaning, and it's always a bit too much than a tease. And then it's like, hold on a minute, what are you doing, you know? And you set in a boundary. So there is a fine line, and the only way I would say to kind of know what it actually is by feeling it. You know, it's by feeling it, it's by knowing where is it coming from, by knowing a person. Is he genuine and has a good soul? Is he a good person? Or is he a bit toxic and insecure, and he's just trying to put you down because he's like so insecure by you? You know, so yeah. Let me know if it's too dark. I really don't want to put this light on because it makes me look crazy, but let's give it a shot. Oh, like, oh, wait, wait, wait. Oh no, it definitely makes me look crazy. Let's see. Oh, I hate this. I can't stand this. Let me put this. Maybe I can do it a bit here. One sec. Okay. I'll turn it off. If it gets really dark, I'll put it back on. I'm really a good person. Good. That's really good, Nick. Happy to hear that. More good people. More good people. Right. Teasing you. Number 7. Number 7. Number 7 is checking, are you secure and confident, and or are you a really jealous type? So after a while, right? So let's say he's giving you compliments, he's crazy about you, he can see you started to like him too, and he gives a compliment to another woman to see your reaction. Because when a guy is testing you or teasing you like that, people are aware what they're doing. He really knows what he is doing. So he knows that he is giving a compliment to another woman. So what is the intention behind it? The intention behind it is to see your reaction. Are you a jealous type? Right? And how will you react? Will you get insecure? Will you be like, do you like her? Do you fancy her? Do you not like me anymore? Are you gonna go like this? Or will you go away and start to cry? Or will you accuse him of something else, or will you throw the biggest boundary, right? So he wants to check and see like how confident, how secure are you in this relationship, how secure are you with yourself. And he might try and see, test you, see your kind of jealousy levels. So if a guy compliments another woman, you can do two things, and you can say like, oh yeah, she's pretty, or let it go over your head. That's it. You know, like nothing else. Like don't do any kind of insecure questions. Just look. The best actually is when you know why he's doing that, when it's very easy to respond. So if I were you, or if I was I, right, I would just, and if I'm, let's say, dating, or I have a boyfriend or married, and a guy does that in my face, my automatic assumption would be he's trying to provoke me, he's trying to make me jealous, he's testing me. And because I would know that this is what he's doing, or I would assume that this is what he's doing, I wouldn't have a reaction, because I would even take it a bit like a compliment. Oh, you're testing me? You want to see my, like, how will I react, sweetheart? Yeah, oh, who's pretty? Which one? The one you talked to for 2 hours without interruption, but I didn't see that. So which one? Oh, her. Yeah. That's all the reaction he needs. He'll stop doing that. He'll be like, Greta's secure and confident, and she doesn't care. She doesn't even know when I'm talking. She doesn't even know when I'm talking to other girls. I hope none of I hope none of the guys are watching. This is the reaction you do. Be smart, be cheeky. Not cheeky, be smart, be gentle as a dove. But how does it say? What's the saying, ladies? Gentle as a dove, but clever as a snake, serpent, wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove, wise as a serpent. That's what you need. Next one. Okay, number 8. So I'll do this. Number 8. Number 8. Number 8. Right, Nick. Hi, Nick. You seem to be my number one follower today. Right, number 8, watching you how you talk about your past relationships. Ladies, try not to put your exes down in front of the new guy, because when you're putting your exes down, at the same time you're putting yourself down, because you're basically saying, I was dating this guy, I was with him. So if he was so bad, why were you with him? Right? So when it comes to exes, try not to put them down too much or at all. Try not to talk about it. Even when guys, guys go like, oh, my ex was so toxic and she did this and she did that. My first thought when a guy talks to me like that, oh, she was like this, my first thought is like, okay, so you fancy toxic women. That's my first thought. And then my second thought is like, why do you fancy toxic women? Is it because you're toxic yourself? Right? So be careful, think what you're saying, because if you were with a toxic guy who was treating you really, really bad, right? And you stayed with him, what does it say about you? That you don't value yourself, that you don't respect yourself, that you don't know how to set in the right boundaries, that perhaps you lose emotional. Why are you entertaining and staying around with this toxic person for so long? So as we say, like attracts like. Your ex was toxic, what does it say about you? So be wise how you talk about your exes. If your ex was actually toxic and now you're looking for a good man, just be like, it didn't work out, we were too different. Say something he doesn't need to know, because maybe you have changed, because otherwise you'll have to explain yourself. You'll be like, yeah, my ex was toxic, but then I went through a lot of therapy, I went through a lot of coaching, I got Greta for coaching, I paid her for 3 months with dating coach, and then I am high value now. Like, doesn't need to know that, right? You'll look ridiculous if you're explaining yourself like that. So the best thing to do is, it didn't work out, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, I'm over it. Don't want to talk about it. Actually, it's none of his business. Your past relationships are none of his business. If he wants to know what you're like as a person, he needs to date you and kind of judge for himself. Decide for himself. a casual, or are you relationship material? Are you low value? Are you high value? Or what are you? He needs to decide that for himself. And as I said, previous relationships are not of his business. I'm trying to regulate this light. Oh, it looks so crazy. It's annoying me so much. Sorry, guys. I should really do it when it's daylight, but it is what it is. Maybe this. Okay, maybe this. Okay, now we're gonna go to number 9. Number 9. And after I'm done with this, I'll look at all your questions. So guys, if you have any questions that you want me to answer, I'll look at your questions after I'm done with this. So I have 2 more to go. Number 9 is not texting for a day, right? So he might check to see, are you secure? If he doesn't text and he decides, let's say, not to text you for a day, to see, will you chase him? How will you react? Actually, it's a very common thing, especially in London, probably everywhere, to be honest. If you're in a relationship with the guy, he might purposely not text you for a day or 2 days, just to see, will you text him then first? Will you react? Will you overreact? Will you get all insecure? Hi, how are you? Is everything okay? You know, just to check your kind of emotional stability. If my advice would be, if he doesn't text you for 1 day, you reply to him when he texts you. You just get busy, and you know, it's actually good for you. Ladies, to be honest, it's actually good for you if a guy doesn't text you for a day or even 2 days. You know why? Because it makes you a bit disconnect from him. It makes you be like, oh, what else can I do? You know, rather than getting really dependable and waiting for that text every single day. Because when you're like texting all day every day, you get really dependable. It all gets like all about that guy, all about that person. And if it is just your boyfriend or somebody you're just dating, you're giving so much energy towards him, right? He's taking a lot. You're like, your feelings towards him really start to grow when it's like constantly talking to him, right? But when it's like a bit less texting, you're not as dependent on him. You're not as attached. You can control your emotions a bit better. You know, so it's actually not a bad thing. It's actually good. You know, sometimes you can even forget about him and do your other stuff. And if you guys just dating, does he deserve for you be so obsessed with him? No, he doesn't. He wants you to be obsessed and get you every single day. Put the ring on it, right? And a lot of you actually complain, oh, he doesn't text me every day. Well, it's actually good. Don't get too crazy about this. Maybe it's not gonna work out. And you've been talking every single day, pouring your heart, giving everything. You know, that's how you actually lose yourself to maybe somebody that it's not even gonna work out, you know? So didn't text you for a day, not a problem. Forgot about it because I'm so busy and I actually have an actual life. What is this? I can't understand my own writing. Can you read it, guys? No, like my writing is so bad. Oh, okay. This is a cheeky game. So number 10. Number 10 is a cheeky game. So let's say you're dating a bit London style, right? A bit of a game, right? Walking on 2 legs. A game on 2 legs, a BS on 2 legs. You're dating bad, and he asks you to be his girlfriend. And you say yes, right? And you are together, you're a couple, right? And now, out of the blue, he introduces you as a friend, or he starts to call you his friend, right? How do you react to this? If you know you're in a happy, healthy relationship and everything is totally fine, right? Don't react to this. Let it go over your head because he's just teasing you. He's literally just teasing you. if if you don't let go over your head and you create some sort of reaction and all of that, you'll be like, wow, she really cares about this title. Wow, she's so into me. Wow, she wants to marry me. You know how guys get all big headed. And then you might even step back because you'll be like, she is crazy about me. I got her where I want her, you know, and then you might even start to take you for granted. However, don't be too threatened by it because usually this type of game is for a day. It's like literally, let's say he calls you his girlfriend, everywhere you're his girlfriend, and then out of the blue for one day, because he watched some pickup artists, he starts to call you a friend. Ignore it for a day and you will see it the day after. You'll be back to being the girlfriend and being introduced to everyone as the only and the one and the love of his life type of girlfriend because you didn't fall for his game. Yeah, like don't like when it's a game, ladies. Let's say if a guy treats you right, like you know you're in a healthy relationship, he treats you right, and something happens like this, then you let it go over your head. It goes back to treating you right kind of pace. Just don't let him annoy you like that. Like just be like couldn't care less, right? However, if he actually is not treating you right, if you are in a place where you don't know, are you his girlfriend, is he just using you, is like what is going on here, and he calls you a friend and he's, you know, and he does all kind of things like that, when it's not a good sign. Then it's not a good sign, but then there are a couple things to do. So one of the things is maybe perhaps because you don't know how to behave with men and you just wear your heart on a sleeve and we just play you left, right, and left, right, and center. And then we get bored and we keep playing you. Or he's just really, really toxic, you know, and he's just playing hot and cold and all that jazz. And there's two ways, literally it's two ways. If you're in a relationship, but let's say you're in that unhealthy relationship, or you're with friends with benefits, or you're in this casual thing that kind of things are stagnant and you don't know what's happening, as I said, there's two reasons for it. One, either you don't know how to be with guys and he literally put you into the casual category because he doesn't see you as a relationship material. This is why you're getting mixed signals. This is why you're getting the games. This is why, you know, things are just not working out. Or the second reason could be just purely toxic and all he's looking for is a game. So how do you know that? You know that by like changing yourself. So if you recognize, let's say you watch a lot of my videos and let's say you recognize that you're not behaving as a relationship material, start changing yourself, start respecting yourself, start valuing yourself, start putting in boundaries, start to know how to handle his teasing stuff. And when you're changing yourself, if he categorize you as easy and now you're changing yourself and he starts to see some self-respect, he starts to see that you're valuing yourself, he starts to see that you're not losing emotional control, he starts to see that you're not chasing him, you know, you'll be like, "Ooh, I feel like I'm developing feelings for Greta." Whereas before I was, you know, I was just having fun with her. But now I feel like I'm developing some feelings for her. Ooh, I wonder why. And this is how things can change. And you'll be like, you know what? I'm actually never expected this, but I'm totally in love with Greta. And then he starts to treat you like a serious relationship material. So or other times, it could be that Greta is totally high value. Greta is doing everything right. But the guy is like, he holds on to his game like it's life and death situation. He believes in his game so much. He read all the pickup artist books twice so much that he knows it by heart. He can say everything, right? and he's just grabbing on, and he thinks like, I'm gonna break Greta, I'm gonna make her to submit, I'm gonna make her lose emotional control, I'm gonna make her behave low value, and he just goes bluntly toxic, right? So then it's like, okay, thank you, bye. You know, it was like, you know, so it's like it could be two ways. Hey, how can I get an expect? I have a video for sale on that on my website. Okay, so I'm gonna look at your messages. Lots of love and appreciation from Maria. Hi, Maria. I don't want to sound mean, but I know so many Marias, so that I don't know which Maria are you. Hi, fiance called off the wedding before 3 months as he lost emotional attraction. It was 1.5 months. He was crazy for me. I feel his family manipulated him too. Will he come back if I go no contact? It was 1.5 months. Okay, so I don't know why he lost emotional attraction. I don't know. Like, I need to know. If I know why exactly he lost emotional attraction, then I can, you know, take a based on that, I can tell you is he likely to come back or not. You know, like, because I don't know, is it a game? Which I would assume it's not if he's canceling the wedding. Like, what happened? Did you do something that really turned him off and he just felt like, I'm not marrying her? Like, you know, like, why? I need to know why. I behave jealous. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So you behave jealous, and he's like, what's happening here? Will you come back if you go no contact? It depends. If you were texting him all the time, pursuing him all the time, wearing your heart on the sleeve all the time, and on top of that, you acted jealous and possessive, and you know, he was like, who is this crazy woman? I'm like stepping back, and now you go no contact. He might get intrigued. How come you're going no contact, even though before you were acting all jealous and pursuing and chasing and all of that? He'll be like, how come she suddenly can control her feelings where she wasn't able before? So the no contact can make him intrigued, you know, and it can make him then get in touch with you just to see what's going on there, because he's a bit intrigued that you're not chasing him, right? And when you behave the correct way, he'll get more intrigued. And when you keep behaving more correct way, then he'll be like, have I made the right decision breaking up with her? And this is how you start to get on track with getting the ex back. It's a long process, ladies. Getting ex back is not like that. It's a long process. It's like, because first you go no contact, then you think like, will he get intrigued or not? Not all men get intrigued. Maybe he met someone else. Maybe he's interested in someone else, right? Maybe he lost so much attraction for you that he really couldn't care less about you. You know, but if it was something like the breakup happened, but there is still attraction left, but he's like, no, 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 and it happened, but there is still something there, when you go no contact, then yes, most likely he'll get intrigued and he'll check in because he still cares about you. And when he checks in and you behave sane, you have emotional control, you're valuing, respecting yourself, you're using good language, you're being classy, he'll be like, huh, Greta is not talking all crazy. She's quite classy. What happened here? I can't believe it. Let's text her more. And when he texts me more, let's say, and I'm still like super classy and wise, and then he's like, oh, I'm really intrigued what's going on here. And then he texts you more. And then you're still classy and wise, and then he texts you more, and then you're still classy. And then he's like, oh, Greta, would you like to meet up? And then you're still classy. And that's how it all happens. It takes time. But it's possible. It's like whoever is promising you that we can get you an expect 100% is lying. There is never a chance of 100%, but the only promise anyone can make is we can, or I can teach you how to behave the best way you can for you, showing your value and worth, so you know you're doing your best. But is it guaranteed to get somebody back? Nothing is ever guaranteed. You know, same as for a relationship. Like, I can only promise you that I can teach you how to be the best as you can be to be with a guy. But then it's up to a guy to still decide, does he want to be with you or not? You know, like, you can only teach a girl to be the best version of herself. Like, to get a guy or not, like, nobody has this power, you know. I lost emotional control. I was high value for most of the time. Okay, well, but if it's only a month and a half and you lost emotional control, it's too small of a period to lose emotional control. That's the problem. Ladies, if you're losing emotional control after he's actually in love with you, let's say after 3 months he tells you he's crazy about you, he's like in love with you and all of that, and then let's say 4 months in you lose emotional control, he'll let it slide because there has a lot of connection been built, you guys are in love with each other and all of that. And if it's literally once in 4 months, like 95% of guys will let it slide because you're a human, you're not a robot, right? However, if you're doing it like weekly or after 1 month or even after a month and a half, and if it's something big, it could be like, okay, it's way too soon for that. It's like, same like, ladies, imagine, slide. Imagine you are dating a guy, right? You're going, oh, years. Okay, okay, then it's fine. It should be fine. Should be fine. Imagine you're dating a guy and you went on a first date and he's great. You went on a second date and he's great, right? You go on a third date and you see a crazy red flag. What do? You dump a guy, you disappear, right? Because on a first and second date, he can fake it. A person can actually fake it. We can pretend to be what we want to pretend. You don't know him. You don't know him after first date. You don't know him after second date. You don't even know him after third date. But if in the beginning, if you see a red flag too soon, you didn't build so much emotional connection to continue. But if you see a red flag after you're in love with him, after a few months, for majority of women, actually, after we slept with a guy, unfortunately, then we let all the red flags go under the table. Nothing matters. It's like, you know, not, I'm a drug dealer under the table because you already slept with him. You know, it's like, oh, I love you, doesn't matter. Or I'm like, whatever else, you know, it's like, that's just how it is. If he's your brother, you know him. Okay, I don't get this like comment. Love you too. Da da da. My writing is terrible. His family will always be in his life. Okay. Yes, you are. Boyfriend is not your girlfriend in which you have your. Okay, don't get this. Right, just reading. I think you guys are talking to each other. Is that correct? I'm looking for some questions. I'm gonna cry. This light is killing me. At least I looked somewhat decent in the beginning. Now it doesn't matter, I suppose. Light is fine, thank you. Okay, let me see. Do guys come back even if their family manipulate them? Not always. It depends how close he is with his family and how much he's listening to his family. So not always. Some do, some don't. My wild guess, just based on the cultures, my wild guess would be, let's say, if it's, let's say you're dating somebody from Eastern Europe and a guy falls in love with a woman and he's really deeply in love with her, I would say most likely this guy will go for the girl, you know, but because we don't live with our families, right? You get married and you live separately. I think when it comes more like to Middle East, then the opinion of a family matters maybe a bit more because you live more like closer with the family. So you're kind of getting married into the family, right? It depends. It depends on many things. It depends on what his relationship with his family, how close he is with his family. It depends on many things. How to stop looking for problems in a relationship? That's a very good question. I really like this. That's a really good question because a lot of ladies literally look for problems. There's no problems and we look for problems and we make big deals out of nothing and we completely sabotage their relationship even though we are in a really good one. That's a really good question. In my opinion, you're either bored or you're too focused on a guy. When you're too focused on a person, you know, let's say where is your hobbies, where is your dreams, where is your goals, where is your family members, where is your friends? Do you actually have a life? Your focus should be on your life, especially if you're in a relationship and not married. You have your independence, you have your thing going on. When you have that, then you're not insanely focused on him and you're gonna be more happy with the relationship in general. You're not going to be looking on how to fix the guy. You're not going to be looking for potential problems. When all your focus goes on a guy, you're like, okay, he has a problem here, he has a problem here, he has a problem here, he has a problem here. I need to address this, I need to address this. And you're starting to fix it, you know, and it's exhausting. Like, and when he steps back, you know, so also be careful at like obsessing over relationship advice. I know I'm a relationship coach and I'm doing videos literally every day, but be very careful at taking 1 minute reel out of context. If he didn't text you for one day, he doesn't care about you, it means he's talking to someone else. Ridiculous. Like maybe if he's 16, you know, and he's got a lot of free time, or he's like wants to hook up with everyone, yes, that might be the case. If he's a normal guy who has a job, who has things to do, maybe he just didn't text you for a day because he's very busy, or he has a headache, or he's whatever else is going on. Enough, like, be careful with this type of advice. I find that a lot of the way social media strategy works, the more dramatic advice you will give, the more people will watch it. But the problem is, the more relationships will get ruined. Because if everybody will start to take this very seriously and apply it, you're gonna create problems in the relationships when there is no problems. So just be careful. Like, use common sense. Use common sense on 1 minute reels. I put a lot of 1 minute reels as well, right? Like, and I cannot explain in 1 minute reel the whole situation, because 1 minute reel a lot of times could be explained in half an hour. You know, I don't have that time. I have 1 minute. So use common sense. Just use common sense, please. Um, as in not being played by them and being able to see and understand their tasks, preparing women for these. Greta, do you have any course on teaching a woman how to change and be good with men? Yes, I have high value woman course for sale. I have many things. I have high value woman course for sale. I have a video for sale how to go from single to a happy healthy relationship. I have a whole video on games for sale. The games is how men test women practically. You know, I have a lot of things. I have another thing which is really, really cool. For me personally, it's my favorite video, but it's my favorite video because as a coach, I know what women should be paying attention to, you know, and it is differences between men and women. That's literally my favorite video. It's for sale on my website. I wanted to listen to. Thank you. In your experience, how long have no contact duration worked for your clients? It's very subjective. I get this question all the time, but it's very subjective. So it can be, depends on a guy. Usually it's a month, but it depends on a guy. Sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's a year. So, yeah. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. It's either 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, but sometimes it's a year. So it depends on a guy. It really, really depends on a guy. There is no clear answer. What's the most common one? The most common one is probably a month, just over a month, something like that's the most common. If a guy is a bit more stubborn, like for example, I remember I was coaching this guy, um, and he was really in love with his ex. He was really, really in love with her. But he broke up with her, but he was really in love with her. And he said to me, he said, Greta, I'm gonna give myself 3 months to get over her. If I'm still not over her after 3 months, then I'll get in touch. So he strategized it. You know, like I was kind of speechless. I'm like, wow, you're actually strategizing your emotions. Like logically thinking, if I still have feelings for her after 3 months have passed, I'll get in touch. So, you know, I know a guy who begged a girl back like crazy after a year. The excuse was, I tried to get over her for the whole year. I did everything I could possibly do to get over her for the whole year. I could not. And when he like begged the girl back like crazy after a year, he's like, I can't get over you. I tried everything. He's like, so it doesn't like, it's very subjective, you know? Yeah. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for watching. That's it for today. Have an amazing weekend. I'm here for coaching. If you want to book me, the links are in my YouTube video description. I have all those videos for sale that I just talked about. And have a fantastic weekend. Lots of love. Kisses from UK.